They told you to stay active. Doctors, magazines, health channels, everyone repeated the same mantra. Keep moving to stay young. So you did. You joined a fitness class, laced up your sneakers, hit the pavement, followed routines from enthusiastic trainers who looked half your age. You did everything right, or so you thought. But now your knees ache in the morning. Stairs feel like climbing a mountain. You hear unfamiliar clicks and pops when you stand up from a chair. It's easy to dismiss these signs as just getting older, but what if they aren't? What if the very exercises you believe were helping you age gracefully are actually accelerating your decline? This is not a theory, it's a reality faced by thousands of seniors every year. Beneath the surface of those healthy workouts, silent damage builds. Cartilage thins, ligaments stretch. The cushioning that once protected your knees is ground down one repetition at a time. And by the time pain forces you to stop, it's often too late. This isn't fear-mongering, it's a wake-up call. As a senior health professional, I've spent decades helping older adults rebuild what poor advice destroyed. And today I'm here to give you something more powerful than motivation, the truth. In this article, we'll uncover 6 exercises that may be causing more harm than good after age 60. These movements aren't just outdated, they're dangerous for aging knees. More importantly, I'll walk you through smarter, safer alternatives that protect your joints while keeping you strong and mobile. If you're committed to living actively without sacrificing your independence, it's time to stop doing what used to work and start doing what works now for your age, your body, and your future. 1. Deep squats. The joint crusher in disguise. For decades, squats have been crowned the king of lower body workouts. Fitness culture praises them as essential, effective, and transformative. But for seniors, especially those over 60, deep squats are a ticking time bomb. When you lower your body into a deep squat, past the point where your thighs are parallel to the ground, you force your knee into extreme flexion. This motion increases pressure on the patella kneecap and compresses the cartilage between the thigh bone femur and shin bone tibia. That might not have mattered in your 30s when cartilage was thick, elastic, and well lubricated, but aging changes the game. By age 60, most people have lost 15 to 20% of their joint cartilage, and the protective synovial fluid begins to decline. What used to be a spongy shock absorber becomes thin and fragile. When this deteriorating tissue is subjected to repetitive, deep bending, it doesn't rebuild, it breaks down. Gradually, the protective barrier erodes, exposing sensitive bone and leading to chronic inflammation, stiffness, and grinding sensations that signal bone-on-bone contact. Consider the story of Leonard, a 68-year-old former police officer from Austin. Determined to stay fit in retirement, Leonard followed a high-intensity strength program that included daily deep squats. Within a year, he was experiencing persistent swelling and pain around his kneecap. Eventually, an MRI revealed a torn meniscus and significant cartilage loss. His doctor told him bluntly, "You've got the knees of a man in his 80s." Leonard's story is far from unique. According to a study published in Clinical Orthopedics and Related Research, adults over 60 who regularly engage in deep squatting are 3.6 times more likely to develop degenerative meniscus tears. What to do instead? Swap deep squats for safer joint-friendly movements like partial squats or wall sits. These exercises target the same muscle groups: quads, glutes, and hamstrings, while keeping your knees in a safe range of motion. A wall sit, for example, involves sliding down a wall until your thighs are parallel to the floor, holding the position briefly, and then standing back up. It's a controlled movement that builds strength without unnecessary compression. 2. Running on hard surfaces. The misguided cardio trap running has long been associated with cardiovascular health, weight control, and youthful energy. For younger bodies, it can be a beneficial practice. But for seniors, running on hard surfaces, such as concrete sidewalks or asphalt roads, can become a relentless assault on the knees. Each stride you take while running generates a shock wave that travels from your foot up through your knees, hips, and lower back. And the numbers are staggering. Research from the American Journal of Sports Medicine shows that the impact force during running can reach up to 5 times a person's body weight. That means a 160-pound individual absorbs nearly 800 pounds of force on each knee every single step. You might not notice the effects immediately. In fact, the early symptoms often appear as harmless tightness or stiffness after a jog. But this repetitive trauma accumulates quietly. Tiny tears develop in the meniscus. Cartilage begins to fray. Ligaments lose their elasticity, making each landing less stable than the last. Before long, what began as minor discomfort becomes persistent pain and eventually structural breakdown. That's what happened to Cheryl, 63, a retired flight attendant from Seattle. For years, she ran 5 days a week on her neighborhood trail. When her knees started hurting, she chalked it up to old age. But when the pain became so severe that she couldn't go downstairs without bracing against the wall, she finally sought medical help. The diagnosis: advanced chondromalacia patelli softening and degeneration of the cartilage under the kneecap caused by repetitive stress. What to do instead? Cardio remains essential, but it must be adapted. Instead of running on hard pavement, choose low-impact activities such as walking on grass or rubberized tracks, stationary cycling, or using an elliptical machine. Swimming is especially beneficial as the buoyancy of water relieves pressure on joints while still allowing for full body engagement. Additionally, invest in proper footwear. Shoes designed with gel soles, memory foam, or orthopedic insoles can reduce ground impact significantly. And if your shoes are older than 6 months or show signs of sole compression, it's time for a replacement. Footwear plays a major role in knee health, especially when shock absorption is compromised. 3. Jumping exercises impact. Disguised as agility, jumping may feel like a powerful way to stay agile and youthful, but for seniors, it is among the most destructive movements for joint longevity. Exercises such as jump squats, box jumps, or even jumping jacks may look simple, but they inflict substantial cumulative trauma on aging knees. When you launch into a jump, your knees act as both the propulsion and shock absorption system. And upon landing, your joints must withstand force levels that can reach 7 to 8 times your body weight. For someone weighing 150 pounds, that's over 1,000 pounds slamming through knees that are no longer structurally prepared for such impact. Let's examine the case of Dennis, 65, a retired Army sergeant from Jacksonville. Inspired by a YouTube trainer promoting age-defying workouts, Dennis added jump training into his daily fitness regime. Within 4 months, he developed pain on the inside of his right knee. Soon after, a single misstep during a jump landing caused his knee to buckle. The result: a torn anterior cruciate ligament (ACL) and a 6-month recovery involving surgery and physical therapy. Jumping exercises often produce delayed symptoms: tenderness around the kneecap, swelling after activity, a sense of instability when shifting direction. These red flags are often ignored until a sudden injury occurs. By then, damage to the cartilage or ligaments may be irreversible. What to do instead? Replace high-impact jumps with controlled agility drills that protect the joints while maintaining mobility. Step-ups on a stable platform no higher than 8 to 10 inches mimic the movement of jumping without the landing impact. Marching in place with resistance bands or using light hand weights for upper body cardio can raise your heart rate while sparing your knees. For a full-body workout, water aerobics delivers resistance training without any impact. It's one of the most knee-safe cardiovascular activities available for older adults. 4. Leg press with heavy weights. Stability with a hidden cost. Among the most popular gym machines for seniors is the leg press. Its design appears safe, you're seated, supported, and pushing in a straight line. But appearances can be deceiving. When used with heavy weights, the leg press machine becomes a powerful tool for joint destruction. The danger lies in the mechanics. When you press the platform forward, your knees bend sharply and then lock out under immense load. Due to the position of your feet and the machine's angle, the compression force on your knees often exceeds the actual weight you're lifting. Studies in orthopedic reviews have shown that using a leg press at full range of motion with heavy resistance can generate more than double the recorded weight in compressive force on the patellofemoral joint. That means a 200-pound leg press could be placing over 400 pounds of crushing force through your knees. For seniors with thinning cartilage, decreased synovial fluid, or mild arthritis, this is a dangerous combination. Repeated exposure to such stress accelerates joint degeneration, flattens the cushioning surface of the meniscus, and increases the risk of meniscal tears, tendonitis, and chronic inflammation. Consider the case of Teresa, 71, a former corporate executive from Denver. Her personal trainer encouraged her to use the leg press to build strength fast. Within 2 months, she began experiencing sharp pains during and after workouts. A scan confirmed a torn meniscus and advanced joint space narrowing, classic signs of overloading the knee joint under compression. What to do instead? Leg strength can still be developed safely, but it must come through intelligent resistance. Resistance bands are an excellent alternative. They offer variable tension and can be used in seated or lying positions that place less strain on the knees. Seated leg extensions with minimal weight and standing hamstring curls while holding onto a chair are effective low-risk movements. For more support, wall-assisted partial squats allow for muscle activation without deep bending or joint compression. 5. Lunges, the silent strain on ligaments. Lunges are often seen as a practical, no-equipment exercise that builds strength and balance. For younger individuals, they can be a valuable part of a fitness routine. But for seniors, especially those with compromised joint stability or pre-existing cartilage, where lunges can turn from helpful to harmful in a matter of months. Here's why. The lunge position forces the front knee to absorb nearly the entire body weight at an extreme angle, especially when the knee drifts forward beyond the toes, a common occurrence without precise form. Simultaneously, the back leg is placed in an unstable, deeply flexed position, pulling on ligaments that have lost flexibility with age. The entire motion demands a level of joint coordination, muscle control, and tissue resilience that many seniors no longer have. The real danger lies in repetition. Each time the motion is performed incorrectly or simply repeated too often, it places cumulative strain on the anterior cruciate ligament, ACL, the meniscus, and the patellar tendon. Even when there's no sharp pain during the exercise, the micro trauma it causes gradually accumulates. Margaret, 68, a former yoga teacher from San Diego, offers a powerful example. She had been including lunges in her daily home workouts to maintain balance and leg strength. Over time, she began noticing subtle instability in her front knee and a tight pulling sensation in the back one. One day while rising from a lunge, she felt a sudden sharp pain that brought her to the ground. The diagnosis, a partially torn ACL and a displaced meniscus fragment, both requiring extensive rehabilitation. What to do instead? Replace traditional lunges with safer controlled strength-building movements. Static split squats where both feet remain planted and the movement is limited to shallow depth. Allow you to train similar muscles without overstressing your knees. Use a chair or countertop for balance support to reduce the risk of instability. Seated resistance band exercises can also strengthen the quadriceps and glutes without putting your knees in vulnerable positions. For balance training, heel-to-toe walking on a flat surface is an effective and safe alternative that enhances coordination without joint risk. Always pay attention to your body. If you experience tightness, swelling, or any sense of joint instability after exercise, take it seriously. Pain is not a badge of honor. It's your body asking for protection. 6. Climbing stairs with heavy loads. The daily damage you don't see. Stair climbing seems so ordinary, so routine that few people ever stop to question its impact. Yet for seniors, especially those carrying groceries, laundry baskets, or even grandchildren, it can become one of the most destructive daily movements for the knees. Each step you take upstairs forces the knee joint to bear approximately 3 to 4 times your body weight. When you add an external load like 2 heavy grocery bags or a bulky backpack, the pressure multiplies. The joint compresses under strain, the cartilage grinds, and the meniscus gets squeezed between bones that are no longer cushioned like they once were. Descending stairs is even more dangerous. It involves eccentric loading, where the knee muscles must contract while lengthening to control the body's weight. This type of movement places immense shearing forces on the joint, which is particularly harmful to knees that already show signs of degeneration or arthritis. James, 74, a retired architect from Minneapolis, shared his story during a rehabilitation session. He had carried 2 bags of groceries up 3 flights of stairs twice a week for years. One day, halfway up, his right knee suddenly gave out. He fell forward, hitting the landing, and could not stand without help. Imaging revealed severe cartilage loss on one side of his knee and evidence of chronic stress trauma. Years of overload had finally taken their toll. What to do instead? First and foremost, reduce the weight you carry at one time. Make multiple trips if needed, and use a backpack rather than single-sided bags to distribute load evenly across your body. When climbing stairs, step with your stronger leg first and use railings for support whenever possible. To strengthen the muscles needed for stair navigation, incorporate wall sits, seated leg lifts, and bridge exercises into your weekly routine. These movements enhance knee stability without the repetitive strain of real stair climbing, and most importantly, respect your body's signals. If you feel soreness after carrying items upstairs, it's not just fatigue, it could be early joint overload. Ignoring it only sets the stage for larger issues down the line. Conclusion: your knees are your independence. Guard them wisely. There's a dangerous myth that persists in fitness culture. The idea that pushing through pain is a sign of dedication. But for seniors, especially those over 60, this mindset can lead to irreversible joint damage, loss of mobility, and ultimately a decline in independence. The 6 exercises we've discussed: deep squats, running on hard surfaces, high-impact jumping, heavy leg presses, lunges, and stair climbing with heavy loads, aren't inherently bad. They simply don't align with the biomechanics and needs of the aging body. Your joints have supported you for decades. They've walked you through life's ups and downs, literally. Now they deserve to be treated with care, intelligence, and respect. You don't have to stop moving. In fact, movement is more important now than ever. But the way you move must evolve. Low-impact cardiovascular training, intelligent strength-building routines, and balance exercises designed for aging joints can give you everything you need: stamina, strength, and confidence without the wear and tear. Let's be clear, this is not about weakness or fragility. It's about strategy. Smart movement is powerful, it's sustainable, and it's what will allow you to keep doing the things that bring you joy: playing with your grandchildren, exploring your community, dancing in your kitchen, or gardening without groaning every time you kneel. Aging is not a decline, it's a transition, one that requires awareness, adjustment, and most of all, action. You have the ability to preserve your mobility and protect your knees, but only if you act now, not next year, not when the pain becomes unbearable. Now. Start by replacing the harmful movements we've discussed with the safer alternatives provided. Listen to your body's warnings. Invest in proper footwear. Avoid activities that demand more than your knees can offer. And don't hesitate to consult with a physical therapist to create a customized routine suited to your body's unique needs. Your knees are not just joints. They are your foundation, your link to freedom, independence, and quality of life. Treat them as such. If this article resonated with you, or if you've seen yourself in the stories shared, I encourage you to take action. Reevaluate your exercise habits. Make small changes. Your future self will thank you. If you found this information helpful, please take a moment to like and subscribe to the Longevity Secret channel. Your support allows us to continue providing practical, evidence-based health advice for older adults around the world. Let's grow stronger together, one smart decision at a time.